podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Whoa.
That's really similar to the last one.
Take it again. I'm going to do it again.
Okay. Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Oh my God. Hi.
What part are you scared about?
Yes.
Oh, just everything.
I can't keep that up on episode.
Yeah, you're so not used to being afraid unless you're very afraid.
I'm also not used to acting.
Okay. I mean, you're spending a lot of time telling other people how to act.
Yeah, because I'm a director.
Oh.
And I'm good.
And those who don't act, direct.
Easy. Yes. They're different skills.
Okay. For different thrills.
Baby.
Fanagar.
It was the annual yesterday. Yeah, so we're walking funny into this episode.
It's a lot of awkward eye contact and conversations that are had.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It was meant to happen that way.
Yeah. Listen, we're 7 years in. We got to keep it spicy.
Oh my God, this is year 8.
We're into year 8.
You remember what we said on that podcast?
I think it's hilarious that was pointed out to us. Whatever episode it was. I can't imagine a universe where this show goes on for 7 years. Yeah.
This is upsetting.
And almost in spite of itself.
In spite of each other.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the reason that we stick together is because we both love money.
I love that I thought you were heading into the fans and Fanagar.
Oh, shit, them. Yeah. Well, I love their money.
Yeah. We love the fans.
I love the fans' money.
Yeah.
But fan money agar doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Yeah, let's just next month will be
the
Fanagar
cash extravaganza.
Yeah. I'm like, is there a good money adjacent DC thing that we could name a month after?
Oh, I see. Yeah,
like a thing that rhymes with Fanagar.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I see.
When we do that, you'll know.
Yeah, you'll know.
It'll come.
It'll be Cash-tober.
Yeah. Yeah. The theme this month is you give us more money.
Yeah.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
That's right, baby.
Not this week. This is every single fucking day.
Yeah, every single day. And we're digging into the mailbag.
Yeah.
We're finding some oldies, but some goodies.
I mean...
And some, like, whatever, fine ones. But
is there any, not old, but, like just the right age?
Yeah, well, I would say some of these questions are barely questions.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I just went to our document. I typed in barely questions.
It's kind of my favorite type.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I like questions that are a little bit old, not related to me, but through legal reasons they're related to me.
Yeah, like technically these questions were actually asked to a different podcast, but we sort of have merged.
Yeah.
I'll just use them.
Yeah,
question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah.
First questions come to us from Threads.
Threads.
That's my new tactic. I'm gonna barrel through it. I hate how it viscerally also it feels like somebody on the I don't know if it was Damiana. I don't know. Somebody was felt like they were on the same page as me, and I don't know if they were making fun of it or if they were actually on the same page.
I mean, I think if someone went on and they said they're on the same page as you, I would take that as absolute sarcasm.
That's text, so I'll take it however I want.
Yeah.
First question from Cryptomite, who asks,
Cryptomite,
my anti-Cryptomite.
If I ask questions, then will you still call me Cryptomite?
If I'm online, you'll be there typing away.
Fuck. Damn it. You know what they say. You lose the magic in year 8.
Look.
This is technically the first episode of year 8.
7-year itch.
Yeah.
It's time for us to start, opening up this podcast.
Yeah, that's gone well for us before.
Yeah. We started to bring in other partners, and it's fine.
Name one other time in this podcast when bringing in other partners didn't, throw something off the rails.
Are we talking of, okay. I mean, guest hosts have worked.
There was that one time that we...
I mean, we were ready to settle down.
we were ready to full Vicky Cristina Barcelona this podcast.
I think we played our cards a little too aggressively.
Yeah, because we
really tried to settle down.
Hey, do you want to like hang out sometime? Like,
I think we were like, hey, could this be a thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, I sent a message and said we're looking for a third.
I mean, yeah, that might not have been the best approach for this podcast.
Third host. What else could it mean?
Yeah. Yeah, weird that they didn't respond.
Yeah.
Cryptomite asks,
we record in my bedroom.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we need a third to record audio in my bedroom.
Oh, no. You just said to record what's going on in my bedroom. I think that's the problem.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
We need a third.
It would have been better if I said audio.
Yeah, I think that might have helped. Maybe? The audio's supple.
Oh my God.
Cryptomite asks, what are the freedom fighters up to? I feel as if I haven't heard from them in years. Last time I remember was New 52?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen the freedom fighters in comics for a while.
Sure.
The last one you would have seen was a series.
Is this the team with like the Sam?
There's Uncle Sam, the Human Bomb, Black Condor, Doll Man.
Yeah. Because we've talked about could they even work now?
Well, yeah. I mean, and specifically, I think we were talking about Uncle Sam, like the idea of being like the embodiment of the spirit of the nation.
Yeah,
right. Which. You know, and there...
It's got split personality.
Well, and there are comics that maybe make the choice that if the nation's personality shifts, so does his.
Yeah.
And then there's other versions where it's like, no, his is set as the ideals of the nation, and his power just waxes or wanes based on how much people believe in it.
Like Santa Claus.
Totally. So two different versions. I prefer the Santa Claus version because it's nice to have like something to point to, something to hope for.
Yes.
God... Did I say those words?
Nice to have something to hope for. That doesn't sound like you.
Get out of my head, Charles.
Yeah.
The last time we would have seen the Freedom Fighters was in their own series, basically, called Freedom Fighters. It was from Robert Venditti and Eddie Barrows. Uh-huh. That series took place on Earth 10, and it took place sort of in the modern day. That Earth 10 we saw in Multiversity Mastermen, and we saw it in like the 50s or 60s or something. This is the world where Superman's rocket crash lands in occupied Czechoslovakia during the war, and he's raised to be a Nazi, essentially.
Sure.
Now, the thing that I found interesting / complicated about Overman, as he's called on that world, is that the idea in that Mastermen one shot was that like he had gone off world for something and he came back and he was like, what? No, I didn't mean camps. like they tried to do this thing where it's like, fine, he believed in like his superiority and stuff like that, but I never meant no.
That's funny as hell.
And it's like, it's a little bit hard to have your cake and eat it with Nazi Superman, but they sort of attempt it. But that's set like during the war era, or immediately post-war, like 50s or 60s. The 12-issue Freedom Fighter series takes place like in what would be the 2010s or the 2020s of that world. Mm-hmm. So we're a couple of generations later. We're like a new Black Condor, a new Doll Man, like these kind of things. And the Overman in that one is actually revealed to be that world's Hank Henshaw. He's the cyborg Overman, just like there's a cyborg Superman. In that one, they have the Plastic Men with SS.
Oh, yikes.
In there, which is like they're given this thing that turns them basically into Plastic Men, but they're the SS, which is like pretty fucked.
I like that they think enough to add extras on there.
Yeah. That book ends with the spirit of America's reignited. Uncle Sam is back, but also the spirits of other nations are reignited. Because on that world, by that time, the Nazis have basically taken over the world, including America, including wherever. But we see, what's his name, like John Bull in the UK, we see Marianne in France, we see like all these like national spirits like Uncle Sam springing back to life, basically. And the idea is that the tide is turning, and the time of the orc has come.
Looks like meat's back on the menu.
Yeah. Look, that's like a person who's like too excited to be like invited to Hannibal Lecter's house. Looks like me's back on the menu, boys. But that's probably the last time that we really saw them. Maybe they're in the background of something like Dark Crisis or something like that. But truly, that's probably the last time we've seen them. I don't really know what they're up to, because that's also on Earth 10. Theoretically, there's also a Prime Earth version of them, just like how there's like the Young Justice Society characters on Earth 2, but we also have like actual Alan Scott and Jay Garrick and stuff like that in the main timeline of Earth 0.
Oh, interesting.
So theoretically, the same is also true of the Freedom Fighters, but I don't know what they're up to. It's a great question.
All right. Next, we are leaving Threads and heading over to the Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
From Instagram, Rob K. Schult asks, most agree Watchmen shouldn't have been made into a movie. What? But who could have done it right? What director, screenplay writer, etc.? Is that a common thought?
I think it is.
Really?
In the way that, like, it's not necessarily right, but I do think it is a common thought. Like, it's one of those ones where it's like, so much of it is tied to the medium of comics. Like, so much of what makes it special is stuff that's hard to translate to film.
The TV show proved that you can...
But the TV show's not an adaptation of the book. It's just new...
Sure.
Like, the TV show is quite good, but it's new stories in the world of the book. Yeah. It's not adapting the book.
But what specific pieces from Watchmen make it unadaptable? Besides the fact that it's like you have to like read some shit on a page.
Again, I don't know that I think it's unadaptable, but so much of how stuff is presented.
Because I know there's like documents you got to read.
Exactly.
But that feels like not enough.
Well, I mean, there's stuff like that, but it's also about like the storytelling, like using like mirrored images in panels across issues to be like, oh, we're tying these things together.
Sure.
You can apply some of that to filmmaking, but there's a big difference between static images and something that has to have a little bit of movement to it, like a shot in a show.
You can't have a one-for-one.
No, totally. Absolutely not. And I think we've talked about it a lot in the past, but I think part of the issue with the Zack Snyder Watchmen, which in some ways is very one-to-one.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, and I put it on the screen. But the problem is it lacks the film of like satire that the book has. Like, it just goes like, yeah, Rorschach's fucking cool. And the book is like, is he?
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's missing some of that subtlety.
Yeah. Now, that's a Snyder thing. That doesn't mean it can't be done. But I do think there's a certain, like, I think people were hesitant even about Dune, right? That's a relatively good adaptation, I would argue, these current movies. But, like, the hesitation with Dune is, like, people get that, like, Paul Atreides is, like, not, like, a good guy, right? Like,
yes.
It doesn't go well or good. And the movie does an okay job, I think, of actually threading that needle. But I think people were like hesitant about it. And I think that's the same feeling people have about something like Watchmen or about, again, Lord of the Rings, a pretty good adaptation film-wise, but a lot is different. And people were like, please don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
And there are people that like hate those movies.
Yeah.
I think, I don't think you were going to get a better version in 3 movies than that. And so, yeah, who do I think could pull it off? It's got to be someone that understands that there is this layer of irony or satire over the thing, right? I don't have like a good one to throw in there. That's not just like me being like, Denny Villeneuve didn't fuck up, dude. Put him on. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I don't know who I'd actually want to see work on Watchmen.
Maybe the Daniels that made Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, sure. Yeah, maybe.
And like Swiss Army Man, and like I think they're really good with satire and really good with like sort of like playing with mediums. And
there's a version of it too that's, you know, maybe a little less holding it sacred, but you like a Coen Brothers
sure
kind of thing, because I do think the Coen Brothers are good at like, these are not good people, but there's some entertainment to derive from this, and there's some things to talk about, you know, like you look at No Country or stuff like that, like all those characters have something going on, you know?
I think it's challenging like adapting something that is trying to have a pretty strong opinion, but through so many layers that, and you're switching mediums and things like that. It would definitely be challenging.
I in no way think it's impossible. I don't know that I know who I'd want to line up for it, but I do get, I get people's hesitation sometimes with these adaptations of things where it's like, just don't mess it up. Like, just do it right. Like, I haven't watched it yet, but I have that worry about Foundation.
Oh,
that's a sci-fi series I loved as a kid.
Yeah, I tried to get into that. I watched maybe like 2 episodes, and it was a little.
I also
heady.
Well, and that's the other thing. I go like, really? Like, I like it, but like, I know what I like about it.
Yeah. So you might like the show, but then also you're like, I already read it.
Foundation is like 2.5 books of talking, and then one psychic bad guy.
Yeah,
like it's not what I would think of for TV. You know what I mean?
It is. I mean, that is what I got out of 2 episodes of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, then maybe they're doing a good job.
Yeah. I did try to watch that, but no, thank you. All right. Leaving Instagram and heading over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
From Draco Folly, who asks, is the New 52 version where Adam kills his nephew to gain his power redeemable? Was he meant to be? You think the Rock? You think the Rock would have starred in a movie if it was that script?
Yeah. So the thing, like, if you remember from the Black Adam movie, the reveal is that his son gives him the powers, and then his son is killed.
Yeah,
and then he goes crazy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
In the comics, in the New 52, it's that his nephew is chosen. And then he kills him and takes the power.
Oh.
So it's more explicitly bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting in a way. Can he be... I mean, the comics have also pushed the idea of, like, after so much time, like, how do you even hold on to that anger? You know? We've seen him have a face turn. Join the Justice League even and stuff like that. Ultimately, he feels differently about, you know, lines he will cross, things like that, than Superman, Nightwing, things like that. And that means that ultimately his tenure with the Justice League was short-lived. However, there is something in him that is, you know, maybe there is a better way. And he's sort of seen the examples of it in Superman, in Shazam, in, you know, all these kind of other characters. I don't know that, like, you know, he's killed a lot of people. Set your bar for redemption somewhere, but I do think that there is reasonable room for that character, even in that circumstance, to have a change of heart and to try to do things a little differently.
I think the time.
I don't know if that redeems him, but I do think he can make a change.
You know? I think that the time helps. The fact that it's like you have so much time, it's easier to understand. Because, like, I mean, we've done that with Harley Quinn. We've done, like, it's not like
100%.
Like we've done it with characters with less time. We've done worse things.
Yes, yeah.
Like I don't think it's that crazy to think about it. I think it's more about the fact that, like, this. I think it's less interesting because it's just a bad guy. Like, I like the idea that it's like. like what they did with the movie, where it was like, well, it's like, of course he went fucking crazy. His son got killed.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that sometimes, but I do feel like we risk, in general, losing just bad guys.
Sure.
Here's the thing that I like about how the Aquaman movie treated Black Manta is that his vendetta with Aquaman is about his dad dying. But they were already bad guys. They killed a bunch of soldiers. They're pirates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that movie found the right thing where it's like, there is a personal, like, defining moment that sets him on a path of vengeance against that very particular person. But they also go, and he's bad.
Yeah, he didn't become bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That movie actually does a good job of that. And I want to make sure, like, somewhere in there that we preserve some of those things. And it's not that I don't want to see, it's not that you don't see a human side of him. You totally do in that movie. Like, Yahya Abdul-Mateen's performance is really good when his dad is dying and, like, the anger and all that kind of, like, it's a very human performance. He's just evil. And that's good. I like that. And so to answer the second part of this question, the thing with The Rock is he just wants to be a badass but good. So let him be badass. You know?
Though he has been making a bit of a heel turn again on wrestling.
I mean, yeah, but also, like, all right, man. Yeah, cool. You're the final bot. Like, whatever. Cool. Like, listen, WrestleMania 40 is right where I lived.
Yeah.
All the, like, Undertaker showing up, like, all that kind of shit. That's right where I live. But really, it's just The Rock making shit about himself.
Sure.
Like everything is. And I think I don't. Early career Rock might have played the full villain.
Yeah.
This Rock, good luck.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? It's not going to happen.
I agree.
Which is too bad.
All right. Let's leave Reddit and head over to the doc score.
Oh, the docks outside is scoring, and I'm singing Christmas doc score.
Fucking what?
And if you've no place to score,
there's no way you haven't done that already during Christmas.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Fuck, that's good. You won me back. God
Hell yeah.
All right. Last question comes from Dave Rossi.
Oh, Dave.
Who asks?
Dave's not home, man.
Dave's not here, man. Dave texted me the other day.
I love you, Dave.
Who asks, most tragic death of a Green Lantern?
Ooh. Most tragic death of a Green
Liesel
Lantern.
Pond get like stepped on or something?
You love Liesel Pond.
I do, yeah.
You fucking love little bacteria boy.
Yeah, because I'm a dirty little boy.
Easy. I'm dirty. I don't wash.
Yeah, I know. I refuse.
Yeah. The most tragic death of a Green... I mean, it's sort of hard for me not to say Kilowog.
Oh, yeah.
During Emerald Twilight.
Sure.
When Hal's losing it.
It's his buddy.
And he, like... The panel of Kilowog dying is, like, this big energy blast, and you, like, see it. You know that thing where it's, like... You see, like... their skeleton and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that. You go like, no,
that's your buddy.
Like, that's his friend. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's hard not to throw that in there, I think, for me.
Sure.
That's a really good one. Death of a Lantern. I mean, a really brutal one. I don't think heartbreaking is the right word for it, but brutal. In the Injustice comics, which is all about, like, how can we brutally kill a character that you like?
Yeah.
They fucking draw and quarter Kyle Rayner in space.
Oh my
Sinestro,
God.
like, uses constructs to, like, pull him apart, like, takes the ring off his finger and, like, sever his head and arms and legs. Like, you see it, like, as a silhouette in front of a sun, just like, like, that's pretty fucked. It's not like a sad emotional moment. It's more like a
disturbing,
fuck, kind of thing. But that's a rough one. I think there's one time when Mogo died that was very sad.
Sure.
Because he's like a whole planet. And you see like the green of his planet like deadening and like it's kind of fucked when Mogo dies. You kind of go, oh no.
Yeah.
you know, because it feels like a thing that just like can't happen.
Huh.
That's a pretty messed up one. Those are the three I would throw out there.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, that was the last question. If you want to send us a question for a future episode, you can send us wherever you find Dr. DC online.
Yep.
If you want to...
Oh, no. Was I supposed to say more?
No.
Bringing the fear back.
Good. Nice.
There you go.
Bringing the funk, bringing the fear.
Bringing the fear.
If you want to join our fan community or get even more related content, you can subscribe to our Patreon.
Patreon.com/DrDC. Hit them up.
Video episodes. And
oh, yeah. And those are good.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that...
Yeah, do you want to see us, like, vaguely cropped out of a thing that we're also superimposing images onto?
Yeah, remember when we said we're going to do a video episode? You didn't assume that we would be in it.
Yeah, no.
It'll just be a visual medium.
It's basically like a Swedish art film.
Yeah. With some slightly upsetting content.
Yeah. Some weird stuff, man.
Go to some weird places.
Yeah, it sure does.
I tried to cut out a lot of how quiet you got when you were trying to do your part. I would be like talking and doing it at the same time. You would just get so hyper-focused.
Yeah, and that's good of me.
On a audio and video medium.
I'm an award-winning podcaster.
I've done this for 7 years. How could I not be good?
I don't need to take this from you.
Yeah.
You're coming to my house, tell me how I messed up my own podcast.
I've been doing it so long. How could I not be the best at it?
Everything I do is the way it's meant to be.
How do I not have all the fans just because I've been doing it so long?
What do you mean? Listen. I deserve this.
I'm not talking about you.
Yeah, I know.
But... if you want to know who I'm talking about,
watch the video head on episode. Over there and
make your own assumptions.
And if you like what we have got over there, and if you like what we do in general, head on over to our other podcast and take some of that in too.
That's right. Ghostface, there's a Supernatural rewatch where we go through every single episode of the CW Supernatural. We are in season 9.
We sure are.
Fucking in the end of the second third.
Yeah, that's a cool way to say it. We're at the end of the second third of season 9 of 15.
If that's not
it's the fucking Fractions podcast over there.
Call me Matt Fractions.
What was the thought process in that sentence?
Well, because I was like, we're not at the second half. I was like, we're farther than...
We're at the end of the second third.
And then I was like, we're not like midway through the third. I'm like, we're really closer to the end of the second part.
Yeah.
The second piece of the third.
Listen, all this and more could be yours.
Yeah, if you like what we're doing here, there's more.
Yeah, pretty much. Adios. Ciao.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.